Welcome to We Are Something Else, episode 173. Lord, forgive me. I swear that wasn't supposed to rhyme. But, yeah, we're here. We're here. We're here. It's your boy, Kaleo. There's CB. There's my man, E Rich. And we are something else. Fellas, come off mute. We are here.
We
What's
are.
good, guys? What's good?
Whew, it's Thursday again. We're back.
How about that? How about that? How about that? Everything good?
A few more shoes added to the collection.
Mm,
Yeah,
that part.
yeah,
That part.
yeah.
Hey, what's good, bro?
Um, eyeballing a couple of shoes on StockX that are below retail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody in the crew has identified that they got them yet. So again, for that reason, that's why they are, probably burning a hole in my fucking pocket right now. So payday was yesterday or today, shall I say? It's the 15th, so you already know what that means.
Right. Okay, that's what's up. I feel you on that note right there. Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. I didn't even realize they had already released because it was probably one of the most quiet releases I believe of this year. Like I don't remember Sneakers app. I don't remember like a big Nike pull for them. So yeah, shout out to shoes that I guess they realized weren't going to be. I thought they were going to be like overachieve. I thought they were going to sell out everywhere, but guess not. Guess not. So yeah, man. So look, let's start the show off right. Shout out to Grant Thompson for the win. Shout out to Grant. Grant, I don't know if you're watching.
The GOAT.
Shout out to Grant. So we had we got this thing that we do at work. I don't want to talk about it because it's a secret. But and Grant Grant came through. So well, we'll talk about it a little bit because not that many people probably know. They don't even know where we are. So it's not like they can show up at our door. So we got this thing once a month. A couple of us get together and go to the penthouse and we break bread over pizza. It's the most simplistic thing you can ever do, but it's a good fellowship, right? And then there everybody has and there's we'll call her the architect. Shout out to Dion. She's the architect of this. So she creates all these storylines of why we're there. It's like a big soap opera, but over pizza, right? It's pretty dope. But anyway, so we had the first one a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, how dope would it be if the official Pizza that We Have Something Else podcast was able to come through next luncheon and hook us up. Hit up the man himself. He was like, just tell me the date, tell me what you need. I'm there. Sure enough, he was there on time, actually a little early. And so, mind you, CB has never met Grant in person.
Right.
So only over a screen, right? So this first time interaction is hilarious. So we go downstairs to meet Grant outside. And like he knows me, he's seen me in person. And then he kind of takes a hard look at like kind of CB who's with me and doesn't put two and two together. One, he didn't realize me and CB worked together. So go ahead, CB. I'll let you go ahead and tell the story.
It's funny. We walk out there, and like Kaleo said, Grant right on time. If not early, and he takes a second. He registers. He goes, "Wait, you got CB with you?" And it's like, yeah, man, we actually work together. He's like, "Yo, bro, you look thicker on camera." Camera adds 10 pounds. You know what I mean? No, thank you, Grant, for telling me that I look like
He was
I'm in
like,
shape.
CB, you look taller on camera.
CB, your calves are even smaller in person.
Oh my God. Let's get this man to a hospital. No.
Get him some long pants.
But then
Grant is the goat.
we realized it was the beard too, because see, remember peak pandemic, CB had that Wolfman Jack. Like,
Yo, I mean, after the show is over, run the intro back and just look at how deep my beard is in some of those videos, man. Like,
yeah.
you could tell I didn't have my camera on at work at all.
Tuning in from World of Beer. Yeah.
No
Hey, look,
way. No way.
go on, keep the party going. There you go. I
What's
know
good,
that's
Ryan?
right. I know that's right. Shout out to Ren. So if you watch it from World of Beer, that means we got some first time watchers there too, because I know my department mate that's taken off has never watched the show. So shout out to you. But look, with all that said, fellas, let's go ahead and get down to business. Let's wrap. So y'all, they were making fun of me, or they were watching me do my show notes at at the bar. So, but look, here we go. So we broke the story last week. Not broke. We talked about it last week that Shannon at the end of the playoffs, the NBA championships, he had been bought out of his contract and he would be taken off from Undisputed, leaving Fox for good. So the whole world was watching, right? We knew we were watching the playoffs, which, I mean, it went a game longer than it should have, but I think Denver kind of threw Miami a bone so they can finish it out at home.
Give my
First
man
time.
Filipino Jackson some.
I'll give him some credit. I'm gonna give him some credit. And, you know, it just worked out that Miami won a game, so it could be ended in Denver for the first
Right.
time. So
shout out to Ed. Ed's watching.
shout out Ed. What's up, Ed? I'm glad you can watch. So yeah. So the whole world, the next day, I was like, all right, let me tune in, because they said, right, I didn't know if it was gonna be right after, or they was gonna at least give a date. Then they're going to say, okay, well, now that the playoffs are over, this is what's happening. Shannon Sharp will be leaving. The end of June is his last day. Well, that necessarily didn't happen that way, because at the end of Undisputed, the very next day, the last segment, Shannon signed off. And it was interesting. He thanked, of course, everybody that helped him along the way. He even thanked his new team for what's to come and for getting them right. And he thanked Skip last. And we all know one thing: Shannon is a class act. He's definitely outgrown the position that he was in, and it's time for them to move on. But like, I don't think reality is ever going to hit these guys. Not then, but maybe the next day when you wake up and you don't have to go to a show to film. It's going to hit, and it's definitely going to hit Skip when he has to return and realize that somebody else across from him, that chemistry is 7 years in the making. So let's get your thoughts. And I don't want to see Ryan Seacrest sitting across from Skip. Like, Ryan Seacrest is always up for the job for some reason. But let's go ahead and start with you, CB. Thoughts on Shannon leaving? Did you think it was actually going to be the very next day?
I didn't, man. And I've admitted that at first I thought all of this was kind of fake to a degree, like mostly just trying to pump up some interest in the show. And nah, it ended up being real. So I was caught a little off guard initially, and then as more came out about it, and maybe they weren't the best of friends and everything off camera anymore and all that. um I'm very excited to see what Shannon has planned and what he's got going on next. But I'll be honest, I think it would be hilarious to get Ryan Seacrest across the other line, from Skip, because no one's tuning into that. That would be hilarious. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see what Shannon's got going on, but it's it's got to be an interesting move. You think about changing jobs, or as we're experiencing, one of our coworkers who we've spent a lot of time with is leaving, and work is different the next day. It's gonna be different the next day, and so hopefully for both of them, it ends up being water under the bridge, or whatever. Hopefully, like as men, like they're able to be good with everything. We know Shannon's a class act, like you said, but I'm really excited. Shannon, like we talked about, Shannon is the younger of the two. He's got more of his career still left to go.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what he's got next.
Absolutely.
I don't think Skip is, I don't think he's going to be affected as much as we think. And I go by that by saying of how, look at the whole, Stephen A situation, right? Like once that was done, nobody was writing Skip off like, oh, he'll never find another host or, whatever the case may be. His name back then had a lot more, if you will, kind of flame to it than it does now. I mean, I think people have, look, the attack, the fact that he just truly doesn't he has it out for LeBron James. He just, his he's become now the unrealistic guy on TV, right? Where he was at one point in time, he was bringing some actual kind of like something that was sustainable to an actual like sports conversation. Now he's flipped. He's that other guy. He's the mad dog type dude, the old white guy that's
crazy hot takes,
bitter about everything and realizes that he thinks that he's been embraced by the culture and he can say and do whatever he wants. So I don't know about that on Skip's side. However, for Shannon, we talked about it when Kevin was on here. Shannon's done great. He's definitely a lot better than when he first got on there. He still has some ways to go, and hopefully he's stepping into a ring or his team is allowing him to be around people that is going to elevate his interviewing skills. He's not the best interviewer. We've all said that, but again, I think he would even say that he's not the best interviewer, but he is looking to be better at his craft, right? And I think he takes it serious.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I kind of YouTube the show because they have it where you can just listen to when Shannon goes, and then you don't have to listen to when Skip talks. Because I don't like listening.
The wonders of technology, man.
Wow.
I don't like listening to Skip. He, for the most part, regurgitates like a lot of stuff. And let's just be honest. Like, that's the power of where we're at. Either you can listen to it or you don't have to. Skip's never really been a big fan of mine. But I will say this. Hopefully Shannon does pivot to something where we're like, this makes sense. When you're kind of at that, we've seen others do it, right? When you're at the peak of the mountain, if you can miss it, right, just right. In the sense, you know
it's
what I mean?
It's got to be the right move. It's got to be strategic. For sure. I'm hoping we're not looking at like a talk show thing. No, that's not what we want. Like stick in the realm of analytics kind of thing and bringing in culture in the sports like he was doing. He'll take the lead, but have maybe even like a Bill Maher kind of setup where you're not necessarily recreating another Skip and Shannon, but you're creating a panel show where you have a variety of thinkers, but it all ends up being with sports, kind of something different like that. Maybe that's what I'm hoping. Who knows? He could end up on ESPN with fucking Stephen A. Smith. For all we know, so and that'll be that. So
right.
I don't know. All right. So as we pivot to the next topic, let's see if my graphics are going to work for me. All right. Let's hit the comment first.
What's good, Quintuple?
Quintuple, what's good, bro? Long time no see. All right. Officer Alexander Shoney. I'm just going to say that. People have been messing up my name all week. So I don't care. I don't care if I mess up this guy's name. People have been messing up my name for the last few weeks, actually. We're going to get this shit together. So anyways, so why is this interesting about Officer Alexander Shoney? Well, Seminole County officer had a speed trap set up in a 45 when he saw an Orlando Police Department vehicle, cop car, zoom past him doing 80 in a 45. Well, what does he do? Turns around, pivots, hit his lights, and it took him up. He had to reach up to 90 miles an hour to chase this cop car down, get behind him. The cop car's not pulling over. And then the video shows the cop car actually maneuvering across the double yellow lines and get in front of a car that was in front of him going slow. Well, it wasn't until they got to a stoplight where the Seminole County officer pulls up next to Shoney, shouts to him outside of the passenger side window, like, "What are you doing? Get out the car! I'm trying to stop you." And Shoney tells him, "I'm on my way to work." Okay, so it gets interesting, right? So both cops get out. They exchange a couple words in the middle of the street. He's asking Shoney for his driver's license. Shoney's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" "No, I'm on my way to work. I gotta go." Hops up in the car, takes off. Well, with modern technology and all these conveniently timed police cameras, this was on. This was caught. And yeah, Officer Shoney was charged with reckless driving, fleeing or eluding police with lights and active sirens, resisting officer without violence, fired. Well, put on administrative leave, but he was also locked up, $9,000 bond. But I do actually think he did lose his job. So, how about that thin blue line? That blue line now, right? Is this crossing that? Because you have, in this instance, you have a cop doing performing the law on another police officer who's breaking the law in uniform. It'd be different if he didn't know, right? But this guy obviously is in a cop car from another jurisdiction, pulls him over, and wants to write him a citation, or at least enforce the law on an officer that should be enforcing the law. Let's get you guys' thoughts on that. Let's start with who's been pulled over in the Altima before. There we go.
Totally been pulled over in an Altima before. Like, bro, this is an interesting story, man, because like you said, it would be different if this was like an unmarked situation, or it's, a cop in his civilian car or whatever. Even though they typically they got the special license plates and all that stuff. So you're still gonna know, but it is something you don't hear about, like especially in a marked car, like it was a sheriff pulling over, an officer or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
yo, it it's one of those things where you do kind of wonder what's going on, because as someone who has friends whose fathers were policemen, and riding around with them, going on some family vacations and stuff, and maybe we got pulled over, and once the other officer realized that my buddy's dad was also a cop, he was like, "All right, man, just like slow down and be on your way." But the difference was, my homie's dad wasn't, getting up in this dude's grill and telling him that he's going to work, and no, he's not gonna listen to him. He had no problem showing him his driver's license. You know what I mean? So it's just wild. Like, the story that we covered like some months ago about the girl who was posting the video saying like, "Hey, we can do certain stuff on the road, you can't." Like, it's wild seeing this stuff come out, man. Like, we live in a wild age where with the cameras and all that stuff, these kinds of things are
Power.
coming out.
Power.
Yeah.
Power.
I guess it's funny in the sense that, technically it was reckless
driving. It was all of that. It was all of that.
It
was,
right. But, let's just call it what it is. Like, for that person to be mad, it's like, bro, you were going 85 or whatever in a 40 like that already. So one,
without the lights on.
Right.
Just
so
one, you're going to work, like, bruh.
Yeah. And clearly, listen, it's a class act by the cop that decided to actually do something about it, to say, you do this. I'm sure your other friends that are in the department probably do the same thing. They probably come through the same kind of highway thinking that that's cool. But not only that, it's not until you mess around and rear end somebody and act like, "Oh, I was on the way to a call." You got to give up a reason why you know that you were going at that high speed of that rate. So listen, man, shout out to that cop. I don't usually say that much, but to the ones that are out there actually doing their job and doing what they're paid to do, on that side. But I will say I have seen, and those of us who have law enforcement, either in our families or close friends or whatever, I have seen them check other law enforcement buddies and just be like, bro, like if you do it again, you know what I mean? Like kind of one of those moves because it only takes that one scenario where you mess around, and we've seen this where cops have gotten into accidents and
Oh
killed
yeah,
civilians, and then
right.
it's just all of a sudden it's just they just on desk duty
Yeah. It
and
was
they go
two
back to
DC
work.
officers drag racing in their cars, and one of them crashed. Yeah, power, power. Yeah. All right, moving through these quickly. Let's do this. So I don't even know if this is official. If it's kind of like the Commanders deal, like it's up in the air. It's there, but it hasn't really gone through yet. But shout out to Tyler Perry, who is projected to purchase BET and VH1. Now we know BET was founded by Mr. Bob Johnson, but I think when he sold it to Viacom, who owned Viacom owned VH1 at the time, and they own MTV. But maybe I didn't see anything about the split from MTV. I don't know if this is including the deal or not, but VH1 definitely is. But he is slated to purchase, be the owner of BET and and VH1. I think this is dope. I think that Tyler is creative enough and for the culture enough that we can bring BET back to some of where it used to be, or at least be a platform for other creators. And we can maybe even 106 in Park. I don't know. But right now, Tyler has the deal now. All his stuff is on like BET Plus. And you get like all the rights and all the his TV shows. And now with VH1, who knows what he'll do with that? But I think it's interesting. It's just it's good news. It's a positive move because we just don't be up and buying networks like that, or have the opportunity to be buying networks, right? So I think the last two people that I know publicly that wanted to buy a network, we know Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC. That never happened. And we knew Cube and LL wanted to partner together, and I think it was BET, or maybe they wanted to start a sports network. They wanted to start their own sports channel, and just don't have access to just networks and channels. So, oh well, Oprah has her own network, but Oprah's a different animal too. So, but I think it's good. We don't have
She's
to
got her
spend
own island, man. It's
yeah,
different.
we don't have to spend too much time on this. You can do 60 seconds or less. But let's start with you, E.
I mean, this is a good look. Like I said, I think he's put himself in that position to. I mean, one, now you have the movie lot, right, to do everything that you need to do to create movies. Then you have the platform, and I think nowadays it's a little different because of streaming, right? So streaming. I think they said like BET Plus is actually doing pretty well. Like it's not something that I have, but they said the numbers are looking good. If you run Tyler Perry movies and indie films and stuff like that through that, then yeah, you are now creating that younger culture of people that Kevin was talking about that are creating movies, just good content in that sense that now it's in our own wheelhouse, right? And it's not where we have to go and sit in front of somebody to try to pitch a movie that is kind of more on our culture and they don't understand it. So I think this is it's. I think he's lining up the ducks, if you will. It would be interesting to see like who's on the board with him as well, or who he creates to kind of stay
Mm-hmm.
in that position to keep like VH1 a certain way as well as BET. Listen, he's making those moves that we always talked about. That said that if other people got their money together, that they could do. He's slowly killing it by himself.
All right, CB.
I'm really just hoping we get confirmation for real um, sometime soon because you haven't heard anything from any of the networks. Perry hasn't said anything. So um, it's just like an interesting situation because news is going to get out. It kind of goes wildfire on social media. So, and from like verified accounts, right? So we're thinking that this is a done deal.
Yep.
Um, and if it is, like you guys have said, it's pretty big and it's huge. So, um, I'm really just hoping that this is a legitimate thing,
Yeah.
and I do think that he's got to have some ideas. There's no way that he's been going after this type of deal for as long as he has without a plan in
Yeah.
place. And so
Yep.
you can kind of feel how you want about some of the stuff that he puts out, but when you look at what he's trying to do as far as a businessman and
Hmm.
pushing the culture forward, I think that he's a dude that other people need to really strive for. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we're about to enter these minute or less rounds. This next one, I wanted to spend more time with it, but I'm thinking if we need to revisit, we can. So let's talk about gunplay real quick. So gunplay recently took to his platform. So let me give you backstory. He has a GoFundMe out. I'm not gonna tell you why, because it's none of my business. But if you want to look it up, you can find it. He has a GoFundMe out, and then he took to his platform a couple days ago because people there was video footage of him giving Rick Ross a new chain. Right, it was this big production. It was all over Instagram, whatever platform it was, but it was a video of him giving Rick Ross this chain, and so people started asking for refunds from the GoFundMe because they were like, "Why you have a GoFundMe if you're out here buying Rick Ross chains?" So he when he took to his platform and he cussed everybody out that asked for a refund. Called them pieces of shit and saying they're gonna die that way. I mean, it was angry, but and it was definitely some of it was most of it was unnecessary to me. But he was like, if you donate that, if you're trying to get the refund, the donation was never from your heart anyway. But thoughts on this, minute or less, on gunplay, um, going off on GoFundMe donators for asking for refunds. CB.
It is kind of hilarious. Like, cuz I can kind of see from both sides. Like, I can understand being confused, like, bro, if you've got the chain money, where's why are you asking for handouts? But let's not act like people aren't out here giving celebrities money all the time for no reason. So, like, you're gonna take a stand at gunplay, like he's the one you're taking a stand on. So I don't know, man. Like he said, it literally anyone can go out there, start a GoFundMe, and it's not, some of that shit is literally just goes, hey, bro, I got this thing. You want to just donate to me for no reason? People do that for real. So I do think it's kind of weird for people to decide they're going to donate to something and then pull that back. I think that that's wild, personally. But I do also see, like, the whole reason. It's like, all right, man, like, but why? If you can do, if
Yeah,
you got it, like, why don't you got it?
right. Absolutely. E.
We used this word a while ago, probably about 2 or 3 months ago, because a lot of our storylines needed the word. But this story needs this optics. The optics don't look right. You are setting up a GoFundMe to assist in a medical reason for your child, because that's what it was. And then you turn around and you say, well, the man that I guess either helped out or I don't know if he gave through the GoFundMe or whatever it was. At that point, I was checked out because I'm like, listen, if that's what you got to do, it only further just invests that you did not, one, either have your royalties for the music that you did with that said person, or you didn't spend your money right when you were getting the money, and therefore now you're in this position. Not my
Go give me.
you
So,
know, not my place. But the optics don't look right. It's like you're asking somebody to help you in dire need, and then it's like, well, even if it was residual of what was left over after you got what you needed to help your child out, then yeah, you don't run back and be like, all right, well, we got 20K left. Let me go buy a chain for the help of. It's just optics, bro. Like, a simple thank you you ain't got to buy a nigga a damn chain just to tell him thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird. And then he did it while the fool was in his bed. Like it was just super
Yeah.
suspect. Just
You're willing to buy this dude a chain while you're going through issues and need a GoFundMe, and he's not willing to cut you a check, so you don't need the GoFundMe. Maybe he did. I don't know. It's not. I'm just going off of what I saw from the video. So maybe he did.
Well, and to CB's point, celebrities are definitely people are paying celebrities, money. Zion Williams. I mean, but they're doing those type of things. So, but yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right. So it was announced on Monday that Pat Sajak, after 40 years, is retiring at the tender age of 76 from his job. Wheel of Fortune took over in 81 after Chuck Woolery was the original host in 1975. I've never even on the game show network seen Chuck Woolery episode. That's how long Sajak has been running the show. Couple questions for you guys. Did y'all watch Wheel of Fortune growing up? Any fond memories? Where's this show rank amongst game shows? I got one fond memory. I was in Vegas for a trip, and I was able to sit in on 3 recordings of Wheel of Fortune for their it was their season premiere. So they shot it over the summer for it to premiere in like October or November. And I was got to sit in on 3 shows. It was dope how they did it. And you'd be surprised when you do the final puzzle or whatever, they tell you not to yell out, is how just easy it is for people just to yell out the answers because you're so used to watching TV and blurting it out. But if that happens, they have to reset the puzzle. They have to stop filming, edit, and go again. So it's interesting. That's my take on Wheel of Fortune. What does it rank? It may be number 3 for me out of all the game shows. Like if you do a top 5, it's probably number 3. I got Family Feud or Price is Right battling out 1 or 2. However you figure that out, then Wheel of Fortune is 3, Jeopardy be 4-ish. Yeah. So yeah. But thoughts, CB.
It's an end of an era for sure.
My
definitely
Ryan Seacrest actually is slated to be maybe the next host for this.
It was way funnier when we were talking about him being the host with Skip. That was way funnier. Yeah, nah, this is an end of an era. I totally watched this growing up for sure. This was, as far as memories go, I don't remember any specific episodes or anything, right? But this was, bro, people do that for real. They really do. This was a show that, that was something that the family got around the television for. So definitely fond memories from that standpoint. And I mean, yeah, it's up there with Jeopardy and The Price is Right as far as game shows go. And then, just for the hell of it, I'd want to throw in like Legends of the Hidden Temple and some of those
different, different vibe of game show, but yeah,
completely different vibe. But when we're talking
Double
about
Dare,
right. But for real, Pat's he's one of the GOATs, man. Like it's an end of an era, and he's, just so people know, he's barely older than Skip Bayless is, and
it's true.
I think he's in better shape. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, end of an era. However, this was it's not even in the top 4. I think for me, it was always Pressure Luck, Jeopardy. What was it? Old School. What was it? The $1 Million Pyramid. And yeah, that's because back in the day, this is when your grandma was at the house and she got to watch her shows before you could turn the damn TV. So you had to go through the lineup of all these shows, and unfortunately, Jeopardy was on like later on in the day. By that time, I was outside playing ball, and it wasn't really a thing, or it was on right when you had to come in the house because the lights was coming on, and therefore you was trying to wash up and get all ready for dinner and all that good stuff. So it wasn't a thing, but yeah, definitely not in the top.
Speaking of dinner or lunch, let me tell you, I tell you how clutch Grant Thompson was today. Shout out to Grant, DC Shy Pie. the official Pizza that We Are Something Else podcast. Look, a lot of people at the office today, at least 12 of them. 12 of them experienced Shot Pie for the first time. Not one bad review. I text Grant right away. I was like, yo, Grant, it's just a thing around here right now. People are feeling this pizza. So look, next
Knock that
time,
thing out of the park.
and look, and I should have made the prerequisite for the party. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel in order to come try this pizza. But yeah, now look, shout out to Grant. Next time you order DC Shop Pie, use our discount code WRSE10, save yourself 10%. Now look, let me tell you, Grant brought that steak and cheese through the office today. Look, there's nothing left. Everything is gone. Like at the end of the party, there was a few slices left. It wasn't that I got rid of it very, very quickly. So we got steak and cheese. We didn't do the salmon pesto. That salmon always can go over a little crazy in the office setting. And then we did pepperoni, but that's cheese right there. So we did pepperoni, steak and cheese, and then we did the big chair, which is big chair's fried chicken and mambo sauce.
Yeah.
But they also have the Georgetown, which is the gyro, and then we have the drop the bomb bread pudding. I should ask Grant to bring bread pudding to the office too, but I think
really would have been asleep.
Everybody
everybody
was hurting after that. So shout out to Grant. We love you, brother. And let's go. Here we go. All right, E. What's good, bro? This is, by the way, for everybody who's Ed, if you're still watching, this is the portion where our beloved E. Rich is going to give you his personal opinion on something. And if you agree with him, you agree with him. If you don't, you don't. But this is the beauty of the segment. Let's go.
Listen, man, we definitely got to work on getting that last screenshot on the T-shirt for the segment. The graphics got to be there though. But
Denisha, regular dope set regular.
So
huge Jack Swing fan.
So actually, this came out of nowhere, right? In the sense that
oh my bad, I thought wrong graphic. There you go. It's just my bad. Nobody caught that.
I thought that the title of the show, I thought you were getting serious. Like I thought you were really, you had some serious topics, and I was like, damn, like let me lighten it up a little bit. If you're talking about Lord forgive me, like I know we've been heathing it up over it recently.
Yo, shout out! Look, Lord forgive me for all the stuff I said in Tusa's room on Tuesday. Lord forgive me for that. Exactly. Shout out to Tusa.
Anyway, shout out to the F family, right? But no, so I was like, well, let me lighten it up because if we're gonna be on here real like serious, I gotta come up with something, hilarious in that sense. But so I thought about it. Lord forgive me. There's only like a couple of times that I really was just like, damn, you know what? I might need forgiveness after what the shit I just did. And it all dated back to this one game in one game in school. God damn it. This dodgeball, let me tell you, the amount of friends that I probably lost, the amount of friends that I gained after the game. To that one guy who always is like a damn ninja, who's sliding, who's doing backflips and jump, spinning jump twirls and all that shit not to get hit. To the one guy who always doesn't want to participate. To that one girl who just literally just sits there and doesn't care that she's got to participate. But everybody who has on this should have definitely been a part of this in your lifetime, to the point where the sound that the ball makes when it ricochets off somebody's head is forever embedded in your skull. And if you hear that shit as an adult, you look to find out where that shit just happened, because somebody just got rocked. Shout out to the damn dodgeball, which, by the way, just we got to give some facts out. Invented in Africa, they did not use a ball. They used actual rocks. They was throwing hard ass objects at motherfuckers to actually injure them. If you didn't know, look it up. That's why in the movie he said if you could dodge. So again, with that being said, listen, the dodgeball is a kid classic. Everybody on this platform knows exactly what that dodgeball means. And listen, when you fuck somebody up in the head with that, you definitely had thoughts about it that next period. Like, damn, I fucked that. Damn, that shit was crazy. And then when you spike that one girl's head and you realize like she's cool, but she was just on the enemy side, and she listen, it's you or them. And again, I just posted it maybe a couple days ago. Nigga, we was all D1 in high school in every intramural sport that there was. Like, there's no denying. Everybody with D1 in every intramural sport that we played, whether it was all of this. So, again, shout out to the dodgeball. Fellas, I know y'all got stories. Let me out.
So, look, elementary school, this was a universal ball for sure. Dodgeball for sure. And they had like, came in different sizes or whatever, right? Because at least with the dodgeball, you could palm it, right? But we also use this for kickball. Same instance though. But let me tell you real quick, the type of lift, I gotta watch my words wisely here, choosing wisely because of CV. The lift, the air that this the gravity that this ball defied. If you kicked it, if it bounced off the ground, I mean, was dope. Like I don't know what type of air you put in there, but for sure, like we play kickball with it and dodgeball, and that sound is like a airy, like ping, like never forget it. And why did we always go for the headshot? Like
Same reason we go for it now, bro. It's for the glory.
absolutely. Absolutely. But your torso is a lot bigger, right? Probably be a lot easier to hit the torso than the head. All right. CB.
That's probably why I'm not good at Call of Duty. I probably should be aiming more for the torso.
Sniper
but,
shots.
But I'll be honest, we didn't play this all that much in school, but this was a summer camp classic for me. Like we played dodgeball every summer at camp, but in recess, Kaleo, like you were talking about, this was kickball, and y'all might know my first love. It's world football, man. So you better believe kickball. I was out there. And like E said, intramurals, we were totally going D1, and you better believe that's always how I base my Madden stats off of. How good was I in intramurals? That's how good I was in Madden. Putting 99s for my creative player on all that.
You know what? Also, listen to I'll even further this as a kid, as some, like I said, this red object was the universal for everything. It was also used as the basketball to dunk on the monkey bar, since you couldn't reach the damn basket. So you used to get busy on listen, like I said, we was lifing back in the day. These kids need to go ahead and get some of this. I don't know if they even have playgrounds with monkey bars anymore, but these kids need to get the fuck out and do some shit.
This would solve a lot of world issues. Just have a quick game of dodgeball, kickball, and all your problems would be solved.
Right.
Like sneakers, right? Real real quick, before we get into For the Soul, is when you're playing dodgeball and there's one of each of y'all left from each team, and you like, I got this dude. I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna win this dodgeball game, and you lose.
Damn!
all right. CB, what we got for that copper drop, bro?
All right, so these did drop on sneakers earlier today. They are apparently dropping at some sneaker shops over the weekend, but N7 dropped a few pair of dunks, 110 bucks, embroidery, very cool. The details on these are pretty dope, but again, a little bit more expensive than the traditional dunk price. And we're not talking about the $60 dunks that used to be. They've been 100. And these were going for 110. Maybe that's a collab price. I don't know. But, 110, another pair of dunks. Clearly this is with N7, but they had two pairs. One was a black pair. This is they're calling this Opti Yellow, University Red. Are you guys copping or dropping for 110? I did not actually go for these on sneakers, but with a wider release, I'm a little bit more interested.
Drop.
That was hella dramatic. I just wanted to let you know it was so dramatic. No, these are drops. There's other sneakers that I'm buying before I buy these. So no.
Yeah. All right. You know what I feel like doing?
What's that?
Because I've seen a few folks jump in the room that probably haven't been here before. Just a little taste of what we do.
Thank you, Cardo.
What Carlos? Oh, it's an SB. Okay. I mean, I think the design is cool.
I said the skate shops are getting them. So,
Cop. Okay, that's straight up Quintupple's alley. I can see that. All right, so let's show some sneakers, pay some bills, and let's be out. Let's be out. All right, let's go.
You know that I always show a shoe or a collab based upon there's a up and coming shoe of that collab or shoe that's coming out to give the good juju out there for the gods. There's a certain collab that's getting ready to come out. You can see that logo right there. That right there. That's the logo we're focused in on, people. That one right there, okay? It's not this shoe, but it's the same. It's the same collab. It's the company. They are coming out with a shoe, but we're gonna give the clot guys the good juju to come out again, so that I can catch the W, because mother sucker, me and the sneaker app ain't really going through. You know what we should have talked about? Total side note, motherfucking Confirmed app still ain't sent no damn shoes. I don't know if anybody else got theirs, but I still ain't got my shit. Ain't got no tracking info or nothing. But anyway, shout out to the clot Nikes that are coming out here shortly.
Only one I got those Yeezy slides. That's the only thing that has reached the doorway. But did you see that some of them joints were showing up with mold?
mold.
Yeah, because they aren't brand new shoes. These are shoes that's been sitting and they couldn't do anything because they've been tied up in litigation. All right.
But still. So I've got this Filipino peso hat on. So it's gonna give me
Jackson.
so it's gonna give me a reason to pull out a pair of
very nice.
Some J's, which I've shown before, but
there's nothing wrong with that.
Why am I showing them again? Because Titan, who collabed with Jordan on these, is a Filipino shop. So, my general dislike of the twos has been documented, but these were a must-have when we're talking about bringing, part of my culture into it. and I do prefer the two lows over the other joints. But yeah,
I
so
mean, the two lows are dope, but you know how I feel about the regular twos themselves. If you look, oh well, we'll get to like and subscribe in a second. Everybody like and subscribe. I figure you can't say that enough. So we're talking about childhood and dodgeball, and we're just reminiscing. So let's just reminisce about my childhood, what I missed out on as a kid because I was poor. No, I, I mean, they just wouldn't, I wore a uniform to school and had to have black shoes. And my grandparents were very strict on making sure your shoes are majority black. And there's no color in your sneakers. You go to school, you're going to get kicked out. But, anyways, I digress. I was able to cop a pair of the childhood sneaker that escaped me years ago for my first win on the sneakers app this year. Yes, this is the OG Nike Huarache colorway basketball shoe. And I put in my chat, I think you guys remember, Scottie Pippen wore these in the NBA All-Star game
right.
that year. And look, these things are still comfortable. I'm assuming technology has changed over the years. It's definitely got the flight F on the side, if you can see the flight F right there.
Hmm.
Technology has changed over the years and they probably upped some of it, but they make Huaraches all the time. Just don't make the basketball OG
Basketball.
ones. But this leather right here, um, first of all, the regular crease beast won't go in there. You probably need the slim. But anyways, this leather is pretty dope, and I don't know if this leather would necessarily um, fold up or crease. So, but anyways, yeah, childhood sneaker. Glad I got it. Shout out to E. Tomlinson because he had a pair of they weren't OGs, but one of the re-releases from years ago, and he used to put them in the background. He had them in the background on Soul Tales, and then he won another pair. So look, that's what you got to do.
Yep.
You got to do. So shout out to your childhood. Thanks, Anissa. Thank you.
Bro, did you ever get a pair of twos? Because I feel like ever since you was shitting on CB and myself for telling you how trash the twos were, I don't think you ever showed a two in that whole release because they've been a shitload of twos that have been coming
Well,
out.
I got the re-release of the infrared twos. Those are the ones that I showed during that
Yeah,
whole thing. But those are the only ones that I really, really wanted.
so it
Those and
wasn't
then
not the Chicago ones or the cool grays, all the other colorways that they came out with the twos.
nah, I was the OG colorway. I like the all whites or even though I don't think the infrared was the OG colorway. I think it was just really the all whites.
You know what he said.
The normal, the normal.
You know what he said.
Yeah. It is what it is. But yeah, look, let's appreciate everybody for watching. Thank you, Anissa. Thank you, Cardo. Tanisha, Ren, Ed, Quintuple. So, but let's everybody like and subscribe if you haven't done that before. Again, shout out to Grant coming in clutch with that pizza today.
The goat.
Look, I was at my desk and I had the glazy eyes, and I was like, I need a friend to reach out or something. Let's go get coffee. Let's wake up, go for a quick walk down the steps. Something. Not just UCB. There's other people that should have had my back at that moment. But look, let me tell you where you can find the community at in these streets. Starting from Sunday, we got Sunday 9 p.m. By the way, all this is Eastern Standard Time. Sundays at 9 p.m. we got Sexy Sunday Vibes with Takeover Trina. Mondays 8 p.m. we got Music Mondays with my man Be Easy. They're on vacation, so that's probably why Be Easy isn't in the chat. But anyways, Tuesdays 8 p.m. we got Something Else presents live from the cheap seats with my partners here, E Rich, Black Wall Street, and CB. And then 9 p.m. Positive Vibes Only with my man R Moneybags. Not to be confused with E-Money Bags, but our money bags. Wednesdays. Shout out to my man Sean Xavier. And look, Sean Xavier's been showing up on AMP lately. And we got this whole light skinned brother coalition thing like on lockdown in the chats. But shout out to Sean. Because
you and him are going old school WWE on the chat. Like you guys are going.
And I know what you mean by that. You're not gonna say the word. I know what you mean.
You know exactly what I'm
I
not
know
going
what
to
you
say.
mean. But anyways, 5 a.m. on all streaming platforms. You can find Sean Xavier and his crew, the Hot Seat Podcast. They're on YouTube now, so they're actually filming footages. They got the not the Black Business series, but the forgive me, Sean, the
They got the all
all
black
black
everything.
everything. Yeah, see, it came to me. 5 p.m. on AMP Over the Hump with Sean Xavier. 9:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. We got my man. We Are Something Else presents It's Not Me, It's the Music, my man, E Rich, aka Black Wall Street. Thursdays. New time frame sometime between 7:30 or 8 o'clock. He's gonna keep you informed, my man, keeping it regular with my man regular old guy Carter, who is in the chat. Shout out. Look, he did New Jack Swing tonight. That's my lane. Like just yeah, can't go wrong with New Jack Swing.
Yep.
9 p.m. slot. This is about to be a drop on 9 p.m. I'm getting ready to tell you that. 9:30. Here we are right now, live on YouTube. WRSE podcast. This is the hub. This is where it all started. Where you hear that name at constantly. We Are Something Else. Where you see that logo behind us or top. This is where it all started. Actually, no, it started on at Superfly's living room on SoundCloud. But the name started. Here we go. But
Right.
anyways, check us out live on over here. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But then tomorrow, Fridays at noon, as We Are Something Else presents the Abstract with this guy right here. Since it's a holiday weekend we're approaching, I think I might do about an hour and a half or so. And tomorrow's theme, since it's Black Music Month, I'm just gonna play every song that every Black person ever wrote or sang tomorrow, and we're gonna get all that done in an hour and a half.
Incredible.
Incredible. You get all that done in an
We're
hour
going
and
to
a half.
bend time and space,
We're gonna
and you're
get
going
through
to
all of it. I
cure
got every
cancer.
song queued up on my playlist on the app. But yeah, that's where you can find us. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Look, this amp thing has been fun for us. It's helping us grow. And so are you, YouTube. Yeah, you're helping us get there almost. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I'm rambling now. But at the end of the day, it's always, Lord forgive me. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.